Hey, Spearo community. It's Shrek here, Rastaman, host of the Spearo podcast, straight out of Kingston. Now, sorry about that. That was my terrible impression of a very fantastic accent. Absolutely love the Jamaican accent and the look of the lifestyle as well. Today's guest very much exemplifies and celebrates that. It's Shawn Wilson. Spearfishing Pastor is his YouTube handle, and also on Instagram as well. Go and have a look there if you want to have a look at the colourful, lifestyle of living in a small island nation. Like, you can see why so many cool things have come out of Jamaica, including Shawn. Hope you enjoyed today's interview with him. We'll get there in 2 seconds. Before we get there, I have had a trickle of rants start to come in, and I'm already enjoying them. If you have a rant, I find so many people learn from hearing someone experienced have a good rant about something, and we've all experienced those frustrations out spearfishing, whether it's at the boat ramp, like I've got a rant next week from Ricky. You're going to love it. This week's rant is from Nick Anastasia, and it's about spots, in particular spot burning and just bad ethics with spearfishing locations. Let's have a listen to Nick.
Shrek, it's your boy Nick Anastasia from Blue Water Shore Diving episode, whichever episode that was. So I just posted a picture of some big fish on my Instagram, and I got a bunch of knuckle necks hitting me up asking me, "Oh, where'd you shoot that fish?" Dude, don't you ever ask me that question. I swear to God, I'm blocking you. Obviously, I can't tell you that. That's top secret information. Another thing, when you post a picture online and there's some guy and he's been there and he's just got to let you know that he's been there. So he posted in the comments, "Hey, I know where that is." Dude, you're pissing me off. Don't you ever say that. These spots are super top secret. These spots, they're so secret, the fish don't even know about them. You go there, there's nothing there. Anyways, just had to leave a little rant. Hope you guys are doing good. For everyone that's listening, if you know a spot, don't blow it up in the comments. And if you don't know a spot, don't bother and ask. Just go find your own spots. Okay, aloha. Much love. Have a good one. Bye.
Love a good rant. Nick, aloha. Obviously delivering. Team Sea Monkeys on Instagram if you want to go and check him out, man. He shoots some rad fish. Very cool dude as well if you want to go back and check out his episode 230. I had a really good chat with him. If you have a rant and you would love to send it in, I would love it if you did. Up to 3 minutes, go to noobspearo.com, head up into the menu, give back, then go to Nooba Stories, and you can hit record there, record a voice message up to 3 minutes. Doesn't need to be carefully scripted. Just vent your spleen. And not too much profanity, but I love a good rant. Just like that one from Nick. I hope you enjoyed that. And couldn't agree with his sentiments anymore. Like, sharing spots peer-to-peer, all good. Sharing spots at scale on volume on the internet, not so cool. Quick review, something positive. D. Stangle says, so helpful, 5 stars. This show is the best I've ever listened to. I'm a Noob Spearo and have been listening for a few weeks now. Started from episode 1 and love to listen to Turbo and Shrek go at each other. Best part of my day. Thanks, guys, for all the great interviews and information. That's an old review. Absolutely love that. If you are leaving reviews somewhere, thank you very much. Helps people find the show. And I just like to read them, especially if they're funny. So get in there and get amongst it. Hey, let's get into today's interview. Shawn Wilson, the Spearfishing Pastor. Here we go. Live the spearfishing lifestyle with Adreno. Today's major sponsor, the staff live it and breathe it. You can shop online or in store. Huge range of equipment. Always growing, always changing. They are the world's largest dive store. They are available just about everywhere. They have hassle-free returns, massive range of equipment, price match guarantee, and you can check them out online. You can even use the code NoobSpearo to save $20 on every purchase over $200 at adreno.com.au. Check them out. Boom. Absolutely mint customer service. Specialty spearfishing equipment, elite spear gun performance components, unforgettable reliability. You want to find out where to buy this? Punch in Neptonics.com and shop at the best US spearfishing store, Neptonics.com. Free shipping to the lower 48 when you spend over $199, and you can use the code NOOB10 to save 10%. This is your chance to save dosh. Buy deadly good gear and experience A-grade customer service.
Will you shop with the best? Visit naptonics.com. Use the code NOOB10 to start shooting 35-pound muttons tomorrow. Actual performance may differ from advertisement. Please refer to terms and conditions to see if you're eligible to be a legend like Shrek. This advertisement was not even endorsed by Jerry and the team at Naptonics. Hoorah, and God bless America. A lot of dry training programs are not really designed for spearfishing. That's why I have got together with a bunch of legends to put together a 50-day prep program to get you in decent shape for spearfishing. It's not for everyone. It's for people that want to make the most of a trip, competition, or a charter of a lifetime. Go to noobspearo.com/spearready and have a look at what this 50-day prep program has to offer. There's a private Facebook group. There are weekly workouts to get emailed to you. And they come from experts like Adam Stern, Australian freediving record holder. They come from Jared Rosenberg, expert strength and conditioning coach from Earth and Ocean Fit. They come from Dr. Jaap Verbaas, author of Longer and Deeper, and legends like that. It's 50 days, 100% focused on action. It's a cross-training program designed to put you in the absolute best shape to go spearfishing and make the most of a trip of a lifetime. The program is designed to be performed in 3 different modalities. So no matter where you are with time, availability, and equipment, you will be able to be more spear ready by utilizing this program. Check it out, noobspearo.com/spear ready.
G'day, guys. I'm joined from the other side of the other side of the. No, I can't even do my Jamaican accent. I'm sorry. I'm joined by Pastor Shawn Wilson from Jamaica. It's great to have you with me, Shawn. How are you, mate?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to be here, bro.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
So I just found out you're an Arsenal fan. Football's obviously massive in Jamaica.
It is. And, I've been an Arsenal fan from the glory days, So in spite of us getting a lot of beating nowadays, I've been a fan, from ever since.
Is spearfishing as popular as football?
No, it's not. It's not. But it's gaining some popularity, especially since the COVID pandemic, when we were forced to stay at home, forced to be watching YouTube. That was when, a lot of us got involved and, watching videos and support.
And you have your own YouTube channel. It's the Spearfishing Pastor on YouTube. So,
yeah, that's it.
And I like your channel. It's a mix of like sermons and your own adventures and then spearfishing and just normal stuff with family. It's very cool, very wholesome content.
Yeah. And that's the idea. Of course, spearfishing is something that I do for hobby. And, I'm a pastor by profession. And, again, my quest or my genesis in starting the channel was influenced heavily by, what I see, on YouTube from, some of the top channels like Daniel Mann, YBS, and even some guys here from Jamaica. You have guys like Spearfishing Jamaica, another friend of mine by the name of Anthony Spearfishing. And so that inspired me to, sort of share my adventure along with my faith. So my channel is basically me sharing my faith through my adventures.
Yeah.
And it has been good.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, how do you say spearfishing in patois, or is it Jamaican?
Well, in Jamaica and patois, we just say spearfishing. There's no particular idiom for spearfishing. It's just spearfishing.
Okay, cool.
We would say, we're gonna catch some fish, or we're gonna shoot some fish.
I want to talk with you about Jamaican. It's obviously in the Caribbean or the Caribbean, man. I'm terrible. It's my accent's terrible. Sorry, I just have to do it though. It's such a cool accent. You guys, like, Jamaica's branding, like on the world stage, it's always been such a cool place. There's Cool Runnings, the movie. Bob Marley and the Wailers. The whole Kingston reggae scene. Jamaica's always like such a aspirational, fun, energetic seeming place to me. Like, and the beautiful beaches, the people are colorful, and everything seems alive. It's is it like that though in real life?
It is. It actually is. It's really we have a very free spirit here in Jamaica, and we really have that vibe that you see in the movies or in wherever you see it. You have that vibe, and we love people. We love people. Everybody, we welcome you all with open arms, and that's just our vibe. And we have that influence on the world, of course, in terms of music, culture, and so on and so forth. And, there's a popular saying, we're little, but we're talawa. Or we're little, but we're talawa.
What does talawa mean? Like,
talawa mean we are versatile, we are big, even though we are small in size, we are big in influence, and abilities. And, you can see that on the world stage.
Yeah. Yeah, the sprinting as well. Like, it's amazing. It's not a very big country. I was looking at it on the map. It seems like maybe it's 140 kilometers from east to west. Is that about right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then north to south, maybe 50 kilometers?
Thereabout, yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Jamaica as a spearfishing location then. So, just broadly, so it's not a big country. Have you been spearfishing in every part? Is it good spearfishing in every part, or?
Well, as it relates to spearfishing, I think we're not so good in terms of, let me say, population, fish population, as we used to be. Nowadays, we don't have a lot of different species in all waters, especially in the shores and so on. And the fish are not very big. They're not very big. But back in the days, I heard that it used to be a lot different. And I think it's influenced a lot by overfishing and, improper maintenance of the resources that we have, the natural resources that we have. So, in terms of that, it's not great. But we have quite a few locations. I currently live in St. Catherine. And, there are places in St. Catherine where we go and fish. Of course, you have Portland, St. Thomas, you have St. Mary, St. Ann. There are, a lot of nice shores that you can go and have a good dive. But you wouldn't expect to see fish like you guys have there in Australia. Or you wouldn't expect to see the diversity or the size that you guys have.
The Caribbean, what are the prevailing, is there much current there in the ocean? Like, what are the currents that bring nutrients and what are the sort of the prevailing seasonal current movements? Do you know much about it?
Well, actually, I don't really know much about the current and the flow of it. But, as I said, most of the professional fishermen, they use boat and they go out to the keys. You have like the Pedro Keys, the Lime Keys, and the various keys. But for us, like recreational spearfishers, we, just focus on shore dives. And whatever we get, we just, we appreciate it because we are in it for the adventure and the fun.
Yeah.
And catching a fish is just topping the icing on the cake.
Yeah. I like your commentary style. You're a very natural speaker, and your energy is contagious. You often bring broader thoughts about life into your videos. I really, really appreciate your honest style. I noticed a few of your videos, and like obviously water clarity is an issue at times, but then sometimes your access to get to the spearfishing destination, like there's these rugged, dirty, flooded roads, and it can be quite difficult. And then sometimes I've seen one dive where your spearfishing buddy didn't even meet you; he went somewhere else. It seems like getting to the places is an adventure.
Yeah, it is. And as you can see in my videos, I tend to record it because my idea is to capture the entire adventure, not just the dive, right? And some of these locations you have to go through very narrow and sometimes bad roads, and it's all a part of the fun and the adventure. You have to just prepare yourself for it and just willing to be on an adventure. If you get stuck in the mud, that's a part of the trip.
Yeah. So how long have you been spearfishing?
Well, in terms of recreationally, it would be from 2020, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But where I grew up in rural St. Mary, we grew up with a river, through our community, a very good river. Back then, in particular, we used to have a lot of fish, mullets in particular. And, we used to, as kids, we used to always be fishing, whether spearfishing or throwing our lines and stuff like that. And so I had that, adventurous aspect of me from an early beginning.
Yeah.
And, I learned to swim from early beginnings. even. So, I always used spearfishing, but then, you grew up, you kind of went off into different things. But like I said, since the COVID pandemic, when we're stuck at home, we had to be watching YouTube. It reignited that early fire that I had when I was young. And ever since, I just been spearfishing, and it's, I don't think I'll ever stop again.
And you watch videos from around the world as well.
That's it. Yeah.
Who's your favorite
Subscribe
YouTuber?
to quite a few.
Who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite? Well, to be honest, it would have to be the YBS guys.
Yeah.
I think I love that is not just one person. A lot of times it's Brody Moss and his team. But I also like Daniel Mann. He has a very unique style as well. I watch Ryan Meyer's expedition and quite a few people from all over the world, to be honest with you. It's just it's incredible to see, under the ocean. It's amazing. It's like an entire different world.
So watching these YouTube channels during COVID reignited your passion to get back in the water.
That's it.
And did you find someone to go with, or what? Did you just start striking out on your own? Okay,
so I actually had a dive partner, which is my brother. In a lot of my videos, you probably would see him. So he was my partner ever since I started. And, I don't recommend diving alone. I don't like going alone. And of late, I haven't been going because I don't really have a partner in particular, because my brother is currently not in the Highland. But yeah, my dive partner is my brother. And, it's always fun.
Yeah. It's good when you dive with someone for a long time too, because you understand how they dive and your communication becomes better over time.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
What are the fishing rules and regulations in Jamaica? Like broadly, do you need a license to go spearfishing?
Yeah, you actually do. You need 2 licenses, as a matter of fact. I don't remember exactly the details on them currently, but there's one of them you pay like 5,000 Jamaican dollars. I think it's every year you have to renew that license. That is actually the one that you would need to fish and to hunt. And then there's another license that, you pay like $1,000 for it. And that one lasts for like 5 years.
Okay.
And so, if you are caught fishing without those licenses, you can, be locked up and charged and so on. And you also, I think for the spear gun, I think you also need a license for that, if my memory serves me right. But yeah, there are certain rules and regulations related to fishing and spearfishing, and as it relates to the seasons as well, and what you're allowed to fish. Of course, we know that parrotfish, especially here in the Caribbean, it's not permitted for us to hunt them. So, and of course, as it relates to fishing, certain seasons it's not wise to hunt, for instance, like barracudas and so on.
Is that because of ciguatera, or do you get ciguatera there?
Yeah, I think it's because of, I'm not sure the name of the bacteria. I think ciguatera is it. But yeah, we're not recommended to eat them during a certain time.
Okay.
And some of the experienced fishermen, they would know just by looking at the fish and whatever they should look for when to eat it. But some, younger folks who might be excited to shoot a barracuda, sometimes get caught up in the excitement and they end up poisoning themselves.
What are some common dishes that you make? Like Jamaican cuisine seems like very different than maybe what we eat here. Can you just describe some normal fish dishes?
Well, quite a few actually. And funny enough, I wouldn't say I love eating fish that much. However, there is this location in St. Elizabeth. They do fish and seafood and so forth. The name of it's called Little Ochi in St. Elizabeth, right? And prior to going there, my favorite dish would probably be jerk chicken, right? But in Little Ochi, they do some of the best fish dish you can think of.
Wow.
They do like jerk fish, roast fish, big fish, steamed fish, fried fish, all type of fish or whatever you can think of. They do it there. But the jerkfish, I can tell you, it's probably the best. I don't even know how to describe it. It's the best food I've ever had in my life.
What is it? Well, like, what do they do to it? What is involved in jerkfish?
Yeah, well, in essence, to jerk anything at all, it's usually done on a grill. But in Jamaica, they add their own style to it. They would use pimento wood as the grill, and the pimento wood would add the flavor to whatever they're grilling.
Okay.
Right. And not only that, for Little Ochi in particular, what I noticed while I was there is that they use a lot of natural seasoning, like scallion, onion, and a lot of natural seasoning. They would put it on the fish while it's being jerked, and all of that flavor would seep into the fish. And trust me, it is amazing. You should try it.
I'm looking at a Jamaican jerkfish recipe on my other screen while I'm talking to you because it got me curious. And then it looks really good in the photos, by the way. I'm looking at a recipe on Punch Fork. And it says here like onion powder, thyme, cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg, garlic powder, and kosher salt. Like it looks good. And it seems...
Listen, I can tell you, it is really good. It's really good.
Okay.
Right. Ever since I had that, I think jerkfish is my favorite dish.
Oh, wow. That's a big call. I'm going to link that recipe up in today's show notes. So if people go to noobspearo.com/Shawn, SHAWN, I'll have that linked up. But if you want to go and see Shawn's stuff, like what we're talking about, go to Spearfishing Pastor on Instagram or YouTube. Maybe you need to do a recipe, a bit of a cook up, Shawn, and show us how to make this Jamaican jerkfish.
I could try it. I could try it one of these days, but I have to be honest, I'm not the best chef. But
well, you're a busy man. You're a busy man.
And funny enough, my favorite fish is actually jack. It's the yellowfin jack. That's my favorite fish to eat.
Okay.
And just frying it and just eat it like that. And trust me, I love it.
Do you like raw fish, or ceviche?
No, I don't like raw fish.
Ah, man, you're missing out.
Yeah, which one should I try?
Well, I have my own ceviche that I borrowed off a few other recipes. It's called Shrek ceviche. I'm pretty biased about that. And then it's not really raw because it's kind of cured in the lime and lemon juice. Yeah, I think if you Google that, that recipe comes up. I put it on a few websites. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's a really nice one. And it's a really gentle way to start eating raw fish. Some of my, one of my boys' friends, he said he didn't eat fish. And then I got him to have some Shrek ceviche and by the end of the day, he liked it. He ate it. So it was pretty cool.
Well, maybe I should try it, one of these days.
Yeah. Those yellowfin jacks, where do you find them? What are they? Where do you sort of hunt them? Do you come across them shore diving very often?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I'm skilled in catching them, but I see them. But most of the guys, the more professional guys, they would catch them very regularly.
Yeah.
And if I see them, I would buy it. But I'm not so skilled in catching them.
Yeah.
Because my shore dive in particular is closer to the shore. I haven't gone too far out.
Yeah.
In the ocean.
Are you getting better with the free diving and holding your breath and diving and stuff? Are you slowly improving?
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty good with free diving. As I said, I've been swimming and free diving since, as we'd say in Jamaica, my eyes was at my knees, right? So I'm pretty good at swimming. And the funny story about us growing up and learning to swim is that we didn't have anyone to tutor us. What would happen is when we were young, the older guys, they would take us and just throw us in the water, and you have to find your way out, right? So that was how we learned to swim, and I'm pretty good at it, but I still have a great respect for the water because of course there's shallow water blackout and stuff like that. So I still don't take it for granted.
Yeah. So what kinds of stuff have you improved since you started back again and during COVID?
It would have to be my fishing technique and my patience. When I just started, when I restarted my fishing adventure, I used to be a little bit impatient with taking my shot and so on and so forth. And, I have learned to be a little bit more patient and to wait on the opportune time to take the shot. And, I think there's a lot of improvement for me in that regards. And also I realized that I have a little bit more endurance in terms of swimming and, going on a fishing adventure. When I just started out, I would be tired very quickly. I would start to feel bad. That's how we call it in Jamaica, feel bad, when you feel kind of nauseous and so forth, very quickly. But as I practice and as I fish, I realize that I can stay for very long. My longest dive was about 5 hours.
Wow.
5 hours. Yeah, and it was a solo dive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you sleep well that night?
I think I did. But not only that, what I think helped with my preparation, and this is not a recommendation, but I am a huge believer in herbs and vitamins and stuff like that. And so I was taking this herb called ashwagandha and rhodiola. And I realized that those helped me a lot with endurance and adaptability and, focus and calmness. And it helped a lot with my spearfishing and diving.
Okay, cool. Did you just take that in a tablet form or do you?
Yeah, I take it in tablet form, but it also is sold, especially the ashwagandha, is also sold in powder form. I take it in tablet form. My preferred brand, and this is not a publication or whatever.
Yeah.
But my preferred brand is Gaia Herbs.
Okay.
That's one of them. Or India Organic, and there are quite a few good brands, But I think that herb is really good for a number of things. And if you're interested in your endurance spearfishing, I think you should probably look at that.
Okay, interesting. I will have a look at it. Might read up a bit of research about it. What's the Jamaican spearfishing community like? Are there instructors there? Is there like a Facebook or social media group? Do you guys talk together or anything like that?
Well, what I've noticed since I've come in the space is that most of the community links up around the YouTube community.
Okay.
Right. So you find that a lot of, especially in the north and so forth, you find that a lot of the spearfishers they link up because of YouTube channels and so forth. And I think there's a very I would say healthy community, spearfishing community now, and there might have been always, but I'm not aware of that.
Okay.
But since I've been in the field, there's a healthy community and a lot of collaboration. Oh,
that's cool.
And yeah, it's fun. I met a lot of new people because of spearfishing.
Have you had any opportunities to go out in a boat?
I haven't, to be honest with you, and that's something that I want to do. But I must say, I have a healthy respect for the ocean. So, I would have to do a lot of preparation for that mentally, and so on and so forth. But, going out on a boat is something I definitely want to do.
Arriving on day one of the spearfishing trip of a lifetime and feeling underdone, unfit, and out of breath is incredibly underwhelming. Well, I've got a great solution for you today. Go to noobspearo.com/spearready and take part in a 50-day preparation program to get you into shape to make the most of a trip of a lifetime. This is a 50-day journey designed to get you in great shape to make the most of this trip. I consulted a bunch of legends to help me put together this program, including Adam Stern, Australian freediving legend, Jared Rosenberg from Earth and Ocean Fit, and Dr. Jaap Verbaas, author of Longer and Deeper, as well as a bunch of others to help me put together a 50-day program that will get you results. And I know it works. We've put a bunch of groups through this now, and people have seen huge improvements and landed on a charter or a trip and actually been able to tap into some of their best spearfishing fitness. Check it out at noobspearo.com/spearready. Jump in a 50-day program to make the most. If you are 2 months out from that trip of a lifetime, let me encourage you, get Spear Ready. Go to noobspearo.com/spearready. This podcast is brought to you by aqualite.com.au. This is the best solution, bar none, for staying hydrated in the ocean. If you're a Spearo, it's an absolute no-brainer. It's a game changer. If you're doing extended trips and the cramp starts to set in and the old body's telling you, hey, that's enough, just get hydrated and it will save you a whole heap of woe. Get Aqualite at aqualite.com.au. It's scientific rehydration that Spearos know and trust. I know because one works there, and that's why we've set up this discount code for you, 10% off when you use the code NoobSpearo at aqualite.com.au. Check it out. Australian-made hydration products tailored for Spearos and a whole bunch of other people that suffer from dehydration too. But check it out at aqualite.com.au. Use the code NoobSpearo to save 10%. Noob Spearo's partner, Killshot Spear Guns, bring more to you than just wicked reliable timber spear guns. They also make awesome merch. Check it out at killshotspearguns.com. There's an awesome range of trucker hats, beanies, bucket hats, and more at killshotspearguns.com. Check out Depth Charge Charters while you're there. Based in the Isla Morada, the Florida Keys, the Killshot Spear Guns team are a wicked, passionate bunch. Proud partners of the Noob Spearo podcast. Check them out at killshotspearguns.com.
Walk me through, like, what's your equipment? Like, what did you start with, and maybe have you changed anything?
Yeah. When I started, of course, in Jamaica, we don't have enough access to spearfishing equipment like you guys do, in the US or Australia or Europe. And so, especially in the country, or especially when we're starting out, most people in Jamaica started out with homemade spearfishing guns and equipment. And of course, we use board, we use various metals for spear and so forth. When I was just starting out, I went to a carpenter, and we designed my spear gun in a very ergonomic way.
Okay.
And I don't remember where I got the spear, but it was a homemade spear as well. And, it was really good, actually. It was really good. It's perhaps it's one of my favorite guns. I don't have it now, but it was really good for what we did. Because when I started, I did a lot of river dives and not ocean dives. Right. So for that purpose, it was really good. However, as I fall in love with the sport more and so forth, I started to invest in more professional tools. So my first spear gun was I bought different parts and put them together.
Yeah.
Right. So I assembled my own gun. So it was I still have it. It's an MVD handle. Yeah. And I use a Cressy barrel, and I bought a spear for it as well. Wow. And so I assembled it myself, and I was rocking with that for about a year or so. Yeah, and at the time I also bought a plastic fin. Right, yeah, and for the mask, I had those big champion masks, those ones that covers the face.
Yeah.
Right. So the reason why I bought that, growing up, that was what most of the guys use growing up in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So when I just get back into sport, I wasn't so keen on all the different styles and so forth, and so I just used what was most familiar to me, which was those champion masks, and it wasn't the most comfortable. But, it was what I used at the time. And of course, over time...
we call them a barley mask. You call them a champion mask?
Yeah, that's what we call them, champion.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Because that was a brand. I think that's a brand that, most people had at the time.
Yeah.
Right? No, I think there are other brands that design those kind of masks, but they're not so popular anymore. But that was what I started with. Now, of course, I have this Cressy nano mask, and I have another spear gun right now, which is the one that you sent me in the care package.
You got it,
the Rob Allen. Yeah.
Wow.
I have it. It's really good.
Cool.
It's really powerful.
Cool.
And to be honest with you, it's very hard for me. I wasn't so strong when I just got it.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun. It's really good, and I like it a lot. It's my main driver.
It takes a little while to learn. Sometimes it's not a strength; it's like a technique and strength loading a spear gun. But it is a very specific skill, And like the first few times you load a spear gun, it's always very clumsy and difficult, and everyone forgets what it's like. But so
yeah, when I started. Oh, sorry. What I was saying, when I started using the gun that you sent me, right? My chest used to have a lot of pain, though. It was crazy.
I'm glad you got it. I didn't even know, because there was a hold up in customs when I sent you that gear. So, as I sent you some gear from the US.
Yeah. Again, as it relates to the regulations, in Jamaica, you can't just ship any spear or anything in that regards, right? And so I had to go to the Ministry of National Security for them to for them to give me the permit to be able to get the spear gun, even though it was already in Jamaica, right? So it's a lot to get stuff like that in the country.
But you got it, and I guess that's why some of the local guys are bringing over the parts and assembling it themselves, because it's like you make sure that there's nothing on the package that says it's a component for a spear gun, and then you get all the little bits and pieces, and then you can put it together, and makes sense.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. That's what we do out here for the most part.
What about like swimming pools and stuff, Shawn? Do you guys do you ever train in a swimming pool with a friend or?
Well, fortunately for me, my practice is in the river. We have a lot of rivers in Jamaica, especially in the country areas. And that's where I practice.
Okay.
Right? I don't know of anyone who really practice in a swimming pool in Jamaica. I mean, swimming pools are usually for like hotels or people who, have a lot of money who can make swimming pools. But I mean, for most people, they're practicing are in the river. They practice in the river.
Yeah.
So it's fun just the same. My first video on YouTube, I was sharing, basically a practice session, right? And it was at a river.
Cool. Yeah, like I think sometimes it's nice just to build, the skills. Like whether it's finning or duck diving or equalizing, if you can do it in a semi-controlled environment, maybe it can make it easier when you go out to the ocean, because in the ocean you have the fish and the current and the waves and the wind, and then you've got all this equipment, and you get out into some deeper water. There's quite a lot going on for someone that's new to it. That's why I ask about the swimming pool, but a river would work just as well.
Yeah, a river is pretty good at it, but that doesn't mean it compares to the ocean. The ocean is a totally different ballgame. Yeah.
So there's no spearfishing shops in Jamaica, is that right?
Actually, there are there are a few, but a handful. Right. From the top of my head, I know two in St. Ann. One is Cool World Spearfishing. I don't remember the name of the other. And in Kingston here, you have Western Sports. They sell spearfishing equipment. It's not a spearfishing shop per se. But Cool World Spearfishing in St. Ann, I think one is in Ocherius, and one is in Toas. And maybe there's one in Montego Bay. But we don't have a lot of spearfishing shops here in Jamaica. And of course, they don't have the diversity that you guys would have access to.
Yeah. So when you go spearfishing off a beach and, you swim out to a reef and maybe shoot some fish and you come back in and there's people on the beach, how are most Jamaicans, how do they react to people going spearfishing in the ocean?
Well, for the most part in general, unless you come in with a big fish or something that's unusual, people are not going to react in any form of exciting way. But if you go with friends who, maybe saying you're not going to catch anything or, maybe just mouthing you, when you come in with either 3 fish or 2 fish, you have some bragging rights because it's very difficult, you know what I mean? And they can't, a lot of them can't really swim out in the ocean. So for you to do it and bring back something, especially in my case, whenever I go fishing and I bring back a fish, that's a big deal. And I usually, have a good time, and they usually like cheer me up for that. But they laugh me to scorn whenever I don't catch anything.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool. What's your biggest struggle right now, like with spearfishing, and then how are you trying to work on it or overcome it?
Yeah. Okay. Right now, my biggest struggle, I would say struggles, I should list it, is one, I don't have a dive partner currently. My brother is no longer in the island. And it's always good to go with somebody you're comfortable with, somebody who understands you and you understand them. And so, that kind of hinders me in terms of the frequency of which I go to dive. Another one is I don't have all the right gears that I really want, right? Of course, I have my dive mask, my spear gun, I have the knife and so forth. But, there are certain other things that I want that I can't have right now. Like I want a new dive suit. I want a new fin, a better fin, like a carbon fin, right? You know what I mean? And a dive computer. There are quite a few tools, that I would want for me to feel more comfortable in the water. But what I have, I try to make the best of it and use it. And also another thing that I want that I don't have right now is a new action camera. Mine, I have it right here on the table. Let me just pick it up. I have the original Osmo Action.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went fishing, I went diving, and I accidentally left this open. Right? And it damaged it. So, I always want to share my adventure. And because I don't have a camera to share what I'm doing, I kind of feel demotivated. So in most of my new videos, you might not see any underwater diving or even diving. But, and also my drone, my dog, if you see in a few of my videos, I have a dog. And that dog, he was kind enough to bite up my drone.
Oh, no, man.
So those are some of the challenges I have. And, while it's not a definite hindrance to fishing in itself, it's kind of, demotivating because I want to capture the entire thing so I can share it. And because my thing is to share my faith through my adventures. So for me, those are the challenges that I currently have as it relates to fishing.
Would you like to one day do a freediving or spearfishing course?
For sure, definitely.
Are there any instructors on the main island?
Yeah, well, I know of one. I don't remember the name of the guy from Portland. I at sometime in the past I reach out to him about it. I didn't follow up, but there are guys here who do that.
Cool. Yeah, they're very worthwhile. Like if you can make the opportunity to do it, there's always a cost and there's always time. These are always the realities of life. There's always a struggle. Yeah.
And again, as it relates to the struggles, the challenge, or one of the biggest challenge that we have here in Jamaica, is that, of course, in general, spearfishing gears is expensive in itself, right? But to get them in Jamaica, it's another expense.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'd have to pay like either price or the price of the item itself to get the item. And sometimes it's even twice the price. And so you find that, retailing price for a lot of spearfishing gears in Jamaica is a lot. And so, the cost of the sport of spearfishing is a lot. So unless you love it a lot and, you want to invest in it, you're going to have some challenges.
Yeah. I think everywhere, honestly, if we're honest about it, spearfishing is not a cheap lifestyle. Like someone said to me one day, it was the most expensive way to catch free fish, and I think sometimes it's true, and then there's always like, I've never owned a boat, you know. I would love to own a boat, you know. But, you know, the reality is it's like, you know, I have 4 children, you know, like like there's other priorities in life. One day it'll happen, but sometimes it's always saving for the future, aiming at it. But, you know, it's cool to have dreams and hopes and desires. But yeah, I'm still very fortunate with some of the things that I do get to do. It's an amazing privilege, you know. And Australia is a big, beautiful country. There's lots and lots of different things around here. In Jamaica, though, and in the Caribbean in general, there are lots of different island groups, you know. Like I have another friend over in St. Lucia. There's Trinidad and Tobago and all of these different places in between. Do you have aspirations to travel to some of the other places? Like, where do you sort of see, well, what are your sort of dreams and hopes with where you want to go, and what do you want to do with spearfishing?
Well, trust me, it's very big. It's very big. And to piggyback on what you said about having a boat, that's one of my biggest dreams, to have a boat. You know what I mean? Of course, watching these guys on YouTube and them having their own boats and so forth is very inspiring. And so that's one of my dreams as well, to have a boat to spearfish. As it relates to places I want to go, of course, Australia is definitely on the list. You know what I mean? But in the Caribbean, the Bahamas have some really nice waters. Turks and Caicos, you know, some of those islands that you mentioned, St. Lucia, Antigua. I mean, there are a lot of good spots and places in the Caribbean that I'm looking forward to going one of these days.
Is traveling between the islands easy? Like, are there boats that are regularly going? Are there flights? What does it look like moving around the Caribbean? Yeah,
well, I haven't really visited any of the Caribbean islands, to be honest with you. But it's fairly easy. In the Caribbean, we have what we know as what we call CARICOM, a CARICOM partnership. And so all of our passports nowadays is a CARICOM passport.
Oh, okay.
Where you can basically travel to most of the Caribbean countries just because of your passport. And so it's fairly easy to go to most Caribbean countries. You know,
is Cuba part of that? Is the Dominican Republic, Haiti, like?
You know, I'm not sure if Cuba is a part of it, but I would imagine it is, because I know a lot of the Jamaicans who go to Cuba. But like I said, I haven't really traveled in the Caribbean before, but yeah, I think it's a part of it.
There was a time in my life where I was like, really wanted to do sort of Central and South America, and then I was like, if I'm over that side of the world, I really want to do some of the islands of the Caribbean as well. And then but it's such a big place when you look at it. It's like, you know, it'd be very hard to see and do everything you ever wanted to do in that area.
Yeah, it's quite big. I mean, there's a lot of places that you can go in the Caribbean, especially as it relates to spearfishing and so forth.
So the current from the US, it's probably not really reaching you, like just due to the other islands chains in the way and stuff. I'm just having a look at it. It would be interesting to have a bit of a look at one day and see what some of the more prevailing currents are in seasons. Like, do you have a favorite time of year to go spearfishing?
Oh, honestly, I don't have any particular favorite time. You know, I just like to go spearfishing. You know, I mean, in Jamaica we don't have like seasons. It's not so obvious, the seasons here in Jamaica. You know, it's sort of like it's always summer. You know.
Well, do you have a wet season though?
Somewhat. We're just coming out of it. The wet season. It's usually around March, April, thereabout. And you know, it's not always that active. You know. But yeah, we somewhat have a wet season. Of course, you would call now sort of a wet season, given it's hurricane season. You know, I mean, yesterday we had some terrible rains, as a matter of fact, and you know, a lot of flooding, right? Even though it's summer. So, and that will continue. The hurricane season will continue all the way until I think November.
Oh wow!
You know?
Another massive part of the Killshot Spear Guns family is depth charge charters. They don't just make functional and simple, reliable spear guns. These guys also bring amazing freedive spearfishing charters to the waters around the Florida Keys, particularly around the reefs of Isla Morada. Now, they've got a bunch of captains and legends, licensed freediving instructors, doing line diving, freediving courses, upping your spearfishing, going on spearfishing charters. Check it out at killshotspearguns.com. Email the team at killshotspearguns@gmail.com. But check it out. These guys have got a good thing going in the Florida area. If you are looking to do a freediving course or get out on a spearfishing charter in that part of the world, check it out at killshotspearguns.com and check out Depth Charge Charters.
Massive thanks to today's sponsor, Dog and Gun Coffee. It's bloody good coffee, ready for adventure. They use specialty grade beans and roasted fresh in Brisbane by a small Aussie team. Their most popular product, and this is one that I love myself, are the preloaded drip filters, which allow you to have cafe quality coffee anywhere. And I use them out on my Strategy spearfishing adventures. It is legit cafe quality coffee that you can make with simple boiling water, add your own milk and sugar. Well, that's what I do anyway. Their owners, Sean and Rach, are keen hunters in and out of the water and want to encourage more people to get outdoors. That's pretty much the vision of Dog and Gun Coffee. Check it out at dogandguncoffee.com.au. Use the code NOOB10 to save 10%. Can't get better than that. Go to dogandguncoffee.com.au. Again, hey, I like the Sandbar Dark Roast as well. Check that out at Dog and Gun Coffee.
Spear Ready is a 50-day training program designed to get you in shape to make the most of your spearfishing. It's a 50-day cross-training program designed to put you in shape and not feel like you don't have any breath hold when you arrive on your trip. If you can go spearfishing during the week during this program, you can even subtract something from the workout. I can guarantee that no other prep program is saying that. Check it out at noobspearo.com/spearready. There are always frothers training and trying to prepare and get in shape. It's a great way to stay motivated and do it together with our private Facebook group. Check it out again, noobspearo.com/spearready.
We're talking about sort of scary stuff here. Well, I mean, have you had any scary near misses or accidents in the ocean?
Yeah, I have. And some of them, one of them is very funny.
Okay.
You know, both of them might be funny, but one of them is very funny. And I'm going to share the experiences with you. So the first really scary time that I had, and I think one of my videos, I shared it as well. So my friends and I, my brother, my friends and I, we went to a spot. But that spot, it was dirty. The water was very dirty. So we went to another spot, right? And at that spot, we could see out where the reef is. It's very clear and calm, right? But it was some distance.
Yeah.
Right? But we, of course, we didn't have any boat. So in order to go to that spot, we had to swim.
Yeah.
Okay. And this was in my early time of, rediscovering my passion for this. And so we attempted to swim to the reef. Right? And the funny thing is, we didn't have any buoy. We were just free diving to the reef with our gears and whatever. And trust me, when we were halfway, and I realized how tired I was, and how much more swimming that would have to do to get to the reef, and what would have to do to get back to shore.
Yeah,
I began panicking, and I said to my friend, I don't think we're it's wise to go any further. And I got so tired, Shrek, that I had to just float in the water for a bit and to just rest.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And there was no place to rest. What I mean? So, at one point I was there thinking that maybe this is it.
Yeah.
Began to say some prayers and, asking God, please. Yeah, no joke. I was really scared.
Yeah.
It's the first time that I've ever been so scared in the ocean because I legit did not think I would make it back because I was just so tired just from the swim. And when I was going back, right, when I was heading back to the shore to rest, what I would do is, of course, I would have my snorkel in my mouth, and I would just hold my head down in the water and just slowly going in, making my way in. right? So I thought. When I heard my friend called out to me, "Hey, yo, where I go?" Right?
Yeah.
In other words, what he was saying is, "Where are you going?"
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I thought I was heading back to shore, but the current was taking me down,
Yeah.
in the ocean, right? So I had to like take my head out the water and do some really good power swimming for the shoreline,
Yeah.
right? And it was rough. And I said to myself, I would never try that again. If I'm going to any reef out in the sea, I would go on a boat, not by swimming.
Yeah.
So that was the first and really the most, maybe the most scary encounter I had, because I had a long look at how I would die and everything.
I think this is pretty common, Shawn. Like with swell and wind and current, sometimes, like I've swum a long way off and then you turn to swim back and the current has changed and the wind is against you as well. And if it's a long way to go and you've got fish and you've been diving for a few hours, it can be very difficult, very challenging. I've heard this from many people. So I think it's a common scenario. And you have to just dig deep and, like you say, maybe just pray and then just keep swimming hard, man. I sometimes dislike it when you look up and you find a landmark, and then you're swimming towards the landmark and then you put your head back down in the water. But if you can't see the bottom, you're swimming what you think is towards the landmark. But then if the current has turned you slightly as well, you're swimming miles off course. So you sort of have to swim, but then look up every now and then to make sure that you're going in the right direction.
That is exactly the case. And, being a young swimmer of the ocean, because of course I'm used to river, that, trust me, that scared the living crap out of me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And from then on, I had an extremely healthy respect for the ocean.
Yeah.
But the other encounter I want to share with you very quickly. So we were swimming, we were throwing our rods at a spot in Elshire, but we weren't catching any fish. So we decided to go to another spot, right? So we were throwing our rods, and one of my guys, his hook got stuck on the rock. And I was the only one who could swim, right? At the time, I went to the beach. I went to the sea with my dog. He's in a lot of my videos. His name is Zeus, right? So when I dived off to go and retrieve the hook, I didn't know that my dog had jumped off after me, thinking, that I was going to drown. I did not know. So when I dived down now and came back up and was swimming back to the shore, the dog was behind me. Yeah. I did not know, right? So I remember vividly, I felt something touch me in my back. And I thought, yeah, right?
It's a shock.
I said to myself, I'm in the sea. The only thing that could touch me in my back is either a shark or some saltwater crocodile. And I was swimming the fastest I could, right? And, it was so scary because I did not know it was my dog. So when I reached to the shore now, and I look back and I realized my dog, my friends, they were dying of laughter. They were dying of laughter. And the funny thing is, when I look back on the video, right, I realized I wasn't swimming fast. Right? So if it was a shark or a crocodile, I would have been eaten.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That just add to the laughter. But those are my two most scary or most frightening experiences.
I'll tell you a story. I have a similar one. I was out on a boat with some friends one day, and my friend had a guy with him that was brand new to spearfishing. He really wanted to try. So he bought all the gear and he came out on the boat. And my friend said to me, you're the noob, Spearo. You can take him, and look after him and show him what to do. And I was like, okay, no worries. So me and this guy jumped over the boat, and it was a drift dive. So the current's moving along, and it started in pretty deep water, and then it came up shallow, and then it went deep again. but over 10 minutes. So, but at the start of the dive, I shot a fish, I think, and the guy was like, wow, and then I'm cutting this fish up and for burley, for chum, and I'm cutting and a rainbow runner came in and other fish were eating their burley, and this guy was like, wow, this is incredible, and there was nothing really amazing that came in. I didn't shoot anything, but this guy was enjoying just watching what happened. We came over the back. We came over the back of this reef where it got deep again, and I let the last of this fish burley go, and these 3 sharks showed up, and they started at the bottom of the burley, and then they came up like a whirlwind, like a sharknado from the bottom, and they were moving fast, and their body language was aggressive, and they were all about 6, 7, 8 feet long. This guy at this stage, he got really panicked. I could see his eyes just like really big in his mask, and there were lots of bubbles. And then I'm looking down, paying attention to the sharks, and I look up to check on him again, and all I can see is a wall of white water. He's like Usain Bolt in the water, just taking off for the boat, like swimming like faster than any person can swim. And he left me there by myself with these sharks. But they came up and they were no problem. They left me alone, and then that was it. I hopped back on the boat, a few minutes later, and the guy's there, and he's like, I can tell he's still like a little bit panicked. And and he says to me, wow, that was hectic. And I said, look, man, like honestly, normally when there's sharks like that, we just stay together, and then the sharks don't come near us because we're too much of a threat. And then he says, okay. But anyway, he didn't tell me, but he went home that day. He sold all his equipment and he never got in the water again. But like, I think sometimes with spearfishing, there are lots of things that are really scary.
That is true.
But the longer you deal with those risks, the less threatening they become because you understand them more and you know how to manage them. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that completely because my first shark encounter, I did not panic at all. And it's because of the shark, the type of shark. It was a reef shark. And, I remember in particular, I was, it was one of my solo dives, right? And I was hunting this, I think it was a snapper, right? And I remember the shark, just something just said to me, just look back. And when I looked back, it was a shark. It was looking at me, checking me out. But it was a reef shark. And, I did not panic. As a matter of fact, I actually went closer to him to look at him and so forth. But when I tell folks about it, they say you're never afraid. In Jamaica, we say afraid, meaning they were asking if I was scared, right? And I said no because I understand the nature of that shark. But of course, if it was another shark, I would be completely out of my wits.
Yeah. Talking about sharks and fish, what's a memorable one for you? Like a super special fish or hunt that you did?
Well, one of my most memorable hunt was it wasn't in the ocean. It was a river mouth that was near the ocean, and we were hunting some tilapia, and we caught some very huge tilapias, right? And that was one of my earlier dives in my fishing adventure. It was super special. I think I have some pictures on my Instagram of some of those fish. It was really good.
Why? What made it stand out for you? Did you shoot a lot of fish or?
Yeah, we shot a lot. The fishing adventure in itself is good, but when you shoot one or two, it is good sized fish. It adds something to you. You feel a certain way that you don't experience it in other things. Like it's like scoring a goal in a big game. So those things kind of stood out to me when we have fishing like that. And the fact is, a lot of the guys shot fish that day. Yeah. So we're all happy.
Yeah, it's nice when everyone like does well with it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's special. Yeah, awesome. I'm just looking through your Instagram. I couldn't see the pictures, but I can see lots of ones with the spear guns. Yeah. There's some good fish and some good moments on there though. So yeah. You like the barracuda? You like eating them?
Yeah, I mean barracudas. They're okay. I wouldn't say they are my favorite. Of course, my favorite is yellowfin jack.
Yeah.
And I like the jerkfish from Little Ochi.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay, cool.
Did you know when coming up from a spearfishing dive, it's possible that you would feel 100% fine right until the moment you blacked out? Did you know being dehydrated or hungover increases your risk of having a blackout? Did you know I have never seen a person hit the surface and yell, "Ted, help, I'm about to black out, come save me"? No, they typically hit the surface, take a couple breaths, and then quietly sink into the abyss. Whether they live or die is 100% dependent on if you are close enough to grab them and take care of the situation. Did you know that if you have a loss of motor control or blackout and you continue diving that day, you are way more likely to have a much worse blackout? My name is Ted Hardy, the founder of Immersion Freediving, and I want to do more to stop the needless fatalities from shallow water blackout than any other person on the planet. And that's why I created freedivingsafety.com. You can learn how to reduce your risk of having a blackout, how to save your buddy's life, how to tell if you're wearing too much weight, and avoid breathing techniques that drastically increase your risk of having a blackout, and it's all for free. Go to freedivingsafety.com and sign up for my free safety course. Dive safe out there. It's not even that hard, especially when you can learn for free at freedivingsafety.com.
Check out the hardest hitting, heavy duty, dirty dogtooth tuna mastering float line at oldmanblue.com.au. Not all float lines are created equal, especially when landing a shot in a big, dirty fighting fish that just wants to drown your float. Slow them down with the Old Man Blue heavy duty float line. It comes with a full brake system. Also included are heavy duty shark clips on both ends with D shackles. Included is a shock cord lanyard for keeping it neat and tidy on the boat. Check out the hardest hitting, heavy duty, dirty dogtooth tuna mastering float line at oldmanblue.com.au.
Let's go to Spearo Q&A. It's a faster paced round of questions. What's the single best piece of advice you've ever been given for spearfishing?
The best advice that I've been given, and it's not like somebody telling me personally, it would be like what I've learned from listening to Noob Spear podcast, is that you have to respect the ocean. You have to respect the ocean.
If you could go back and start again with spearfishing, what would you do differently?
I would definitely invest in more, I would say stronger, better gear. Okay. When I started, I just, grab what I could get, or the cheapest that I could get. But I would be, more keen to get better spearfishing equipment.
What would be your fish of a lifetime?
My fish of a lifetime, I think that would be the red emperor.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you get red emperor there, or is it you mean the one in Australia?
No, we don't have them in Jamaica or in our ocean. But definitely, I've seen videos, in Australia and places like that. They are some they look like emperors of the fishing world.
They're quite difficult to find, but fairly easy to spear in my brief experience with them. But
yeah, it seems that way. It seems they're very easy to spear.
Mm. So Brody is over in Western Australia, but we also get red emperor over here in Queensland as well.
I was going to ask you, what are some of the most, sought after fish in Queensland?
What are some of the best fish to get here in Queensland?
Yeah.
We love coral trout. They sort of start, you can catch them fairly consistently about 1 hour north of where I am. In the Sunshine Coast, but really, if you want to get more of them, the further north you go, the better. Central northern Queensland is amazing. The south, not so much. But yeah.
How do coral trouts taste though? What's the texture of the meat and so on?
I'm going to be honest, they don't rate for me. Like, I think they're a fairly plain fish to eat, but very clean, very delicate meat. Not super fishy tasting, and fairly versatile with cooking and stuff. They're not very oily. But lots of people that don't love fish like them because they're not very fishy tasting.
For me, like if I have to choose one species to eat, like I love Spanish mackerel. Like we call it Scomborus commerson. I don't know if you call them a kingfish in Jamaica.
Yeah, we call them kingfish. Yeah, we call them kingfish.
Yeah. You guys have your own mackerel species though, don't you?
I think we do. I'm not sure, but I think we do.
Yeah. Scomborus commerson, like it's a narrow-barred Spanish mackerel, we call them, but they go by different names in different parts of the world. Florida, they have, they call them kingfish, I believe, and they're not very highly regarded there, but yeah, I love them. I love eating them. I love shooting them too. They're fun. And they can grow very big too. I think the world record for spearfishing is like 42 kilos or something. I think I'm thereabouts. But like apparently they grow over 50, so there's more opportunity there to break that record. So maybe when you come to Australia, you can shoot a big one.
Yeah, what are some of the techniques you guys use to catch them, to spear them?
If you can, like it's different in different parts of the world, but like a flasher, like so you have a float with some line hanging down with some flasher like mirrors that sort of throw the light, and then basically it makes them curious enough to come in, and sometimes they will come by and look at it multiple times, and then so once they come in, then you can drop down, and when you're on a level with them, you can try and shoot them, and that can be one effective technique. But like a lot of the time, we find them sort of on an edge, like on the edge of a reef, so maybe where it's dropping away. And if you have a little bit of current, that seems to help sometimes. But they have very wide range too. Like they get them as all the way down the east coast past the central coast, and then they're all the way north. And then in Western Australia, it's the same. Like they have a quite a long, quite a broad temperature range in terms of the water that they will be in. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As it relates to rivers, do you guys have a lot of rivers?
Yeah, in Queensland, you're not allowed to spearfish in any enclosed waterways. There are very few exceptions, mostly due to, they say, like the traffic, like with boats coming in and out. That's the main reason for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have like mullets in your waters?
Yeah.
Yeah. How big do they grow in your waters?
Maybe a kilo, like 2 pounds.
Yeah, but like on your how do you measure it? Like,
maybe as big as your arm, as big as your forearm, like to your hand.
What?
Yeah.
Mullets?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow,
that would be a big one. Maybe they don't grow like that all the time, but we find them in the river. And if I'm gonna, I quite like mullet. A lot of people don't like them, but if you can smoke mullet, I love it. It's very good in a smoke.
Yeah. I mean, they're not the best in terms of meat, but in our rivers, of course, as I said, we grew up around the river.
Yeah,
we caught a lot of mullets, but the biggest mullets that I have seen is probably about this size,
like 1 foot long, sort of like 30 centimeters.
Not so much.
Do you use?
I think the reason for that.
Is it metric or do you use metric or imperial for measuring in Jamaica?
We use both, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because I think we started with the imperial system, but ever since I think the year 2000 and so forth, we started we kind of transitioned metric, so we kind of understand both.
Cool. Yeah, I think where I grew up in New Zealand, we were just finishing imperial, but everything was pretty much metric. But yeah, it's nice when you can understand both. What about water temperature though? Do you do water temperature in Fahrenheit or Celsius?
We do it in Celsius.
So what's the water temperature now?
Currently, I'm not sure about the water temperature now, but I know that the air temperature is about 32 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
But I think the waters nowadays are actually warm, given it's summer.
Yeah. Is it cold in winter?
No.
It says
3rd of August, the water temperatures peak in Jamaica. Maybe it's like 30 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I think in February, it can be 16 to 20, which is like similar to here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's probably similar to here where I am off Brisbane. Yeah. We get water as cold as 16 degrees in the bay, but then out in the open ocean, normally it won't drop much below sort of 18. But then in the summer, it'll be 28 degrees as well, like when it's very hot. Probably more like 26 to 28 is more common. But yeah, further north, it gets warmer as well.
So where you are, right? Like in the summer, what size wetsuit do you use in terms of the millimeter?
I still like a pair of board shorts and a rash top in summer when it's very hot. But you can wear a 3 millimeter suit, but I wouldn't want to wear anything more in summer. Definitely not. And then in wintertime, I like to wear a 5 mil below 20 degrees, which is 61, 68 Fahrenheit. Yeah. 68 Fahrenheit, sort of, yeah. If it gets below, I start to like to wear, 5 millimeter.
Okay.
What do you use?
I currently use a 3 millimeter wetsuit.
2-piece?
No, one full suit.
A steamer. A steamer? Do you call them a steamer there?
Well, you can call it that because it's very hot when, I'm not in the water. I think I want to get a rush suit like that, like what you described, because I don't think it's necessary for me to have that steamer.
Last question, Shawn, and then we might find out where people can come and find and connect with you. Could you describe what the spearfishing experience means to you in one sentence?
The spearfishing experience for me is very, I would say, rewarding.
Nice. That's the one sentence too. Well done. Shawn, where can people come and connect with you? Spearfishing Pastor on YouTube, Spearfishing Pastor on Instagram. Is that the best place to connect with you?
Yeah, that's the best place. Just, Spearfishing Pastor. I'm the only Spearfishing Pastor, on YouTube or Instagram. You can always reach out to me. You can watch a video. You can, whatever. I'm always available.
Cool. I love the very real and candid nature of your videos. You're very sort of straightforward, honest guy, and obviously you have a purpose in life, and you feel very authentic when I watch you, and I like it. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man, and that's why I do it, to inspire and to share my faith through my adventures.
Awesome, Pastor Shawn. Great to have you with us today on the New Spearo podcast. Thank you for coming.
Hey, man, thank you, man. Always a pleasure, bro.
Hey, legend. Hope you enjoyed Pastor Shawn Wilson. Really cool guy. Love his accent. And obviously, like, the Jamaican sort of lifestyle, I think, lends really well to spearfishing. Such a colorful, vibrant country. And he's really cool people there. I love his vibe and his energy as well. Check him out, Spearfishing Pastor on YouTube. And as usual, if you love the show, leave a review somewhere. It helps people find the show. Tell a mate about it. If you go above and beyond that, you're like that next level dude that just wants to say thank you. Go to patreon.com/Noob Spearo and you can chuck fuel in the Noob Spearo outboard. The pricing structure is actually going to change too, by the way. It's coming out probably not till November, but what it'll be is it'll be a flat monthly fee. So Patreon are moving from per episode billing to pretty much just a flat, predictable fee per month. So I think the first level will start at like $4 a month. If you want to just throw some fuel in the Noob Spearo outboard, muchas gracias, or thank you, man. It's probably more appropriate given today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Pastor Shawn Wilson. I'll see you guys next week for another awesome interview with a spearfishing legend from somewhere on this joyful planet. Actually, let me give you a quick idea. I don't know why I forgot to tell you about this. We are going with Don Solomon. He's a deep Durbanite. And we explore Taravana and building boats in a lot of detail. Very thoughtful guy, amazingly clever Spearo, represents South African spearfishing at the national level. And it was really, really cool to pick his brain a bit. And I feel like an hour and a half just flew by, and we're going to have a part 2. So come back for that one. Deep Durbanite, Don Solomon, next week. I'll see you then, guys.
A lot of dry training programs are not really designed for spearfishing. That's why I have got together with a bunch of legends to put together a 50-day prep program to get you in decent shape for spearfishing. It's not for everyone. It's for people that want to make the most of a trip, competition, or a charter of a lifetime. Go to noobspearo.com/spearready and have a look at what this 50-day prep program has to offer. There's a private Facebook group. There are weekly workouts that get emailed to you, and they come from experts like Adam Stern, Australian freediving record holder. They come from Jared Rosenberg, expert strength and conditioning coach from Earth and Ocean Fit. They come from Dr. Jaap Verbaas, author of Longer and Deeper, and legends like that. It's 50 days, 100% focused on action. It's a cross-training program designed to put you in the absolute best shape to go spearfishing and make the most of a trip of a lifetime. The program is designed to be performed in 3 different modalities. So no matter where you are with time, availability, and equipment, you will be able to be more spear ready by utilizing this program. Check it out, noobspearo.com/spearready. Are you US based, looking for freediving, spearfishing gear? Neptonics is the best. Their online website, so easy to use. If you've got any questions, Jerry and the team answer questions via phone, email. Anyway, they've got an easy contact form on the site. These guys are absolute legends, and if they sell it, they believe in it, they back it, they use it themselves. It's tough gear that works. Visit neptonics.com. Use the code NOOB10 to save 10% on any order at neptonics.com. That's right, use the code NOOB10, N-O-O-B 10 on your next order. Save 10% at neptonics.com.
Today's Noob Spearo podcast is brought to you in partnership with Adreno. Live it, breathe it with the world's largest dive store. Huge range of equipment, always growing, always changing. They are the world's largest dive store. They are available just about everywhere. They have hassle-free returns, massive range of equipment, price match guarantee, and you can check them out online. You can even use the code NoobSpearo to save $20 on every purchase over $200 at adreno.com.au. Check them out. Boom!